Blair, you've got some interesting things here. I mean, not many people come with a soil auger. So what do we have here?
Yes, so we are going to now look at the everything that's below the rain garden. So I took this soil sample earlier today at a site that was experiencing a resource concern that we might address using a VCAP project. So this looks like Virginia clay, and you can even see it's started to dry the way Virginia clay does. We have a tiny sand layer in here. But this type of soil can be problematic because it doesn't allow the water to infiltrate.
Right, and with rain gardens, when we want to install a rain garden in our property, we want to make sure that we're collecting the water, but also that it's infiltrating to feed the groundwater. Mm-hmm. So this first step of using an auger to kind of test the soil is a vital one. Mm-hmm. Well, what did you find with this test here?
Yes, so my first impression is this might not infiltrate particularly well, and whenever we are looking to install a VCAP project that's going to infiltrate, we might do an infiltration test. We should do an infiltration test. The district staff can help the landowner with that. We would dig a test hole about the same depth as the practice, fill it up with water, let it drain, fill it up again, and then measure that rate of infiltration.
Do you measure the rate per hour or per like half a day? You know, because you are talking about, importance of rain gardens and managing our water on that landscape. So what speed do we want it to drain?
So we'd want ½ an inch an hour, so you'd measure every hour. And depending on the result that you get, we could amend the soil to help it infiltrate and make a nice place for those plants that are going to help it infiltrate too.
That would be nice. Now if we end up with heavy soil, like what do we have here? We've got some heavy clay here, and then we have the sand, but how do we address it if this is our soil situation?
Yes, so with this soil, we could amend it. So what we've got here is this clay. So I've got this is just kind of a broken down version of that clay. And you can see it likes to stick together, and it's still damp from this morning. It's still holding on to that water.
It's very sticky.
Very sticky, yes.
And so clay, while it's a wonderful great for agriculture, for infiltrating and draining soil in I'll say a best management practice for stormwater, it really is not what you're seeking. Mm-hmm.
So I took this same soil that I took out of this sample right here, and I added some compost.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's very rich,
yes.
Gives you the impression it's going to make these plants happy. So this is an example of something we would ask homeowners to do or tell homeowners they could do to help with that infiltration. Very accessible.
Mm-hmm. And what percentage of compost did you add to the clay to get it that beautiful?
So I'll admit I had about a 50-50 ratio. It's a small sample there.
Yes. That's a lot of digging and tilling in that regard.
Yes.
Which, speaking of, how do you determine the size of a rain garden for a property? Does somebody come out and measure it, or?
Yes, so our district staff can also help with that as part of the application. So it's based on the area that's draining into the rain gardens.
The hard surfaces being like roofs and driveways, walkways and things. And what other hard surfaces could be out there that we really don't think about?
Yes, so turf can become a hard surface. In a really heavy rainstorm, that turf will lay down and act like pavement.
I think we've all seen that.
Yes.
Yes. But you've got another container of soil over there. What's that one?
So I also made this soil sample. So this is a mimic of a bioretention mix. So you can purchase bioretention mixes, and they all come pre-mixed.
Yes.
But I made this, so it's about 60 to 70% sand, and about 20% compost, and then the remainder is pine fines. So it's going to allow that water to infiltrate really well. You can see how much looser it is than our clay that we had earlier.
Right. How fast do you want it to, to drain out? If I have a big rain event in my yard and I have a rain garden in my front yard that's collecting, water off of my roof through the gutter system and such, how long do I want that water to stay in that rain garden?
So typically less than 24 hours, so they shouldn't become a mosquito issue, and that water's not going to stand for particularly long. So it's just enough to keep the plants happy and have that water infiltrate.
And down into it. What happens if it's an excessive rain event with my rain garden and it starts overflowing? Is there a concern about that?
So they can overflow. They're built to 1-inch storms, and that's okay. And some of them can have under drains that can help drain that water away too.
So that it prevents the overflow. Okay. Well, we've got beautiful soil now in our rain garden. And we've had an expert out. They've kind of surveyed the yard. They've put together a plan for us, and we've done the digging, and we've put in the soil mixtures. But filling it with plants, what type of plants do we want to put in our rain garden?
So all of our plants are going to be native plants. They are happiest here. They are comfortable with the climate that we have. But these types of plants are fine with being wet for 24 hours. So these wet foot, dry foot plants.
And there's a whole list that's provided to choose from?
Yes, so the district staff can help, contractors can help you make a plan, and we have native plant lists available as well.
Sounds good. Speaking of, we've got a few native plants here.
Yes, so we've got a couple, and I've divided them by sun and shade different plants. So these are some of my favorites. This is river oats. And it's a great grass. They're gonna have those roots that are gonna help the water infiltrate. And they get these really adorable nodding seed heads. And so if you're a florist, they're also nice for displays.
They do dry very well.
Yes, they do.
They do. And the other thing is they're actually used in the beach to help hold sand dunes. So that's how deep those roots go.
Exactly.
Do you want to be concerned about really the depth of the roots? Do you want them deep?
Yes, so having those deep roots is going to help that infiltration. These guys are a little more fibrous, but for instance, this bee blossom has a tap root, so slightly different root structures.
Okay. And what about the coreopsis?
Oh, so yes, our coreopsis friend here, this is mouse ear coreopsis, and it just has these really beautiful petals that have little notches in them. And this guy had about 15 or 20 blooms on him the other day and just decided to drop them prior to this, but you can get an idea of what this would look like. And again, same thing, it would have great roots that would help infiltrate.
On the shade side, and we don't have much time, so we've got to hurry. You have one of my favorite ferns here for the partial shade, the Maidenhair Fern. So, and then what's this one here with the bloom?
Yeah, so foam flower or Tiarella cordifolia, and all of these, including the dicentra, will spread, but they help with that infiltration too.
Interesting. And then finally, this here.
Yes, our bleeding heart.
Yes.
Yes.
This is actually a plant that will die back.
Yes. So in our planting plan for our rain garden, you can put things that die back as long as you have other things that are going to really help that infiltration. So you can have the beautiful on the edge, the functional in the middle.
And that's nice to know that these rain gardens can be beautiful as well as functional. So Blair, thank you so much for bringing in and showing us about soils and the importance of rain gardens and how they protect our ecosystem and our waterways and how we can manage them right on our property. And that's really important. So thank you.